And hi everyone. I am super excited to just talk to everybody about an important topic that I am super passionate about, and it is gut health and its relationship to weight loss. It is seems simple enough, right? That just stop eating, or at night just eat our protein and vegetable, and that should do it. But that isn't the case. It's a little bit more complicated and complex, I should say, than just, okay, I'm going to stop eating, because a calorie is a measurement of energy. And if we have other things going on in our body that can't convert that energy to what it needs to be, then we have stubbornness in our weight loss and a lot of frustration. And some people think that they're failing, and they're not. So let's talk and delve into a little bit about gut health, what that is, what it does, how it relates to our weight loss, and then maybe some of our little tools that we talked about yesterday, the simple tools to start the process of getting our bodies back in tune so we can get to that weight loss and our health goals as we want. So first of all, what is gut health? And what is the gut? The gut is that 30 feet of your mouth, your esophagus, then stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and then the excretion. So that is your what we call our gastrointestinal tract. Now, what does it do? It sounds simple enough. It seems like, okay, we eat our food and digest it, and it goes out, and there you go. No, there's a lot of things that are going on in our body and that gut that helps with the whole process. And so what it is designed to do is to break down that food as we take it in, and then convert it to energy, convert it to nutrients, convert it to where our cells can have that bioavailability for it to do its job with all the things that we talked about yesterday, to make that cell healthy, to make that cell have those receptors that are on the outside of the cell receive the attached landing, I guess what we want to say, landing plane on it, and that's your hormones and other things that need to be messengers to communicate within that cell. So that is the scientific thing that happens, why we need that nutrient. So converting nutrients and converting that into the molecules necessary for our healthy body. What is a gut microbiome then? So a gut microbiome, or a microbiota, is a community of organisms, because we live and coexist with trillions of microorganisms, and they're to help us. We coexist with them, and they help us, and we help them. We give those microorganisms nutrient with the foods we eat, and then they in turn are supposed to, if we're taking in all the right things and we're living all the right way, they in turn those nutrients into the things that our body needs to combat infection, to help with our immune system, to help with our mental health, and to help with our digestive system. So that in turn can help with our whole body function. And as we talked about yesterday, to keep our systemic inflammation down, which then could lead to other diseases. So our microorganisms, as we said, are trillions of them, but we want to talk about, and what that is the bacteria, the fungus, the viruses that are needed in our body. There are purposes for all of it. But what happens is if we're taking in that American diet or a bad diet, and we do that on a daily basis. Now, having a diet like that from time to time is not good. Hopefully you have your tools, the right tools in your tool belt to offset any of that, because you've worked, you eat mostly 80% stuff. But if you're eating constantly hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza, which we all love, potato chips and all of those things on a daily basis, then what happens is those the bacteria becomes outnumbered. The bad bacteria becomes unbalanced and outnumbered with the bacteria that is needed to learn how to break down all of the fiber and all of the things that are needed. And so then it starts producing other things that are harmful for the body. Also, it doesn't produce enough of the good bacteria that are needed for the thick lining of your cells, the Akkermansia, bacteria. And that I looked up, that's the number one bacteria that we need. And so it doesn't produce that. And so then our body becomes leaky to the toxins that are not supposed to be in our bloodstream, that are kind of leaking through our gut. And that can cause the systemic inflammation. And then that can lead you to the various diseases that are out there, autoimmune diabetes and things like that. And that's why our country has so many medical issues. Boy, I went to Kaiser. We have Kaiser, and taking just a simple appointment, a check-in appointment, and that it is so crowded, and it always makes me sad because there's so many people that are needing help. So there you go. Now, how does it relate to? How does a gut microbiome relate to our weight? Like, how does it affect our weight? If we are not taking in good nutrients that can feed and the bacteria that is needed, because we need a diverse bacteria in there to be able to break down the various foods that we take in our body. And if it's just getting used to one type of food and one type of saturated fat, what it does is it has trouble breaking down the good fiber, and it's unable to do that. And then all of a sudden what happens is it starts producing and holding on to that fat. Also, what it does is sends the messenger. It doesn't turn off your hunger hormone, because we have that going on, and that bacteria creates messages to let our brain know that, hey, we're full and not hungry. And so there's that. It also changes our metabolism. It certainly changes our metabolism. It's directly related to our metabolism. If we don't have the right gut microbiomes that can feed into and create messages of good metabolism, and also create the right nutrients on the other end for our hormones that help with metabolism, we are not going to be able to lose the weight that we want to, in the way that the healthier way to do that. So there's weight loss. And then we have the tools that we talked about yesterday. We talked about simple tools that can help you and what are needed for good gut microbiome health. And that is nutrition, eating the rainbow. We do need to eat that fiber. We do need to eat those fruits and vegetables. People always say it, but it really is necessary for that bacteria to be created, and for us to create that diverse microbiome. And we need that. And so we have to take in diverse. We always hear, Terry, I always hear a voice, eat the rainbow. Well, that is important, because you want all those different bacteria in there, so at any moment it can take in and digest the foods that are needed, and giving the cells and the molecules and communication to those molecules the right signals for the cells to be healthy. And those hormones that we need in our body, they need to be healthy, and that's that direct communication. So eating the rainbow. Number 2, hydration. You can't lose weight without drinking water. That water has to be in there to the fat molecule has to attach to the water molecule to be able to be flushed out of your body. So you have to have the right amount of water, half your body weight minimal. And if you're in the summer months where we're sweating more in the hot sun, working out, you will probably need more water than your half your body weight. So if weight loss is your goal, you need to drink a lot of water. Number 3, you need to get a lot of sleep, because you want those cortisol levels to stay down. Cortisol levels are damaging to our body, and it also is sending mixed signals to your body that are difficult for us to lose weight. So if your cortisol levels are up, the studies show that you have more of a tendency to gain weight. So you want to make sure that you're sleeping really good. You're 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours a night for your body to heal. You want to exercise. Goodness gracious, exercise is very important for our good gut microbiome. Their studies have shown that the exercise do help with that. And we want to make sure also, if you're trying to lose weight, that's a beautiful way for us to get our body metabolism up, our muscles in shape, and all that communication going in the proper way. We also want to make sure we're doing self-care. So again, we talked about that. Again, the cortisol levels, the importance of having less stress on your body, because stress impacts those the gut microbiome in a negative way. So we want to make sure that we're not putting stress and extra inflammation in our body. So we need to practice self-care. And what self-care is those things that make us joyful and happy, and the hobbies and the exercise and the health and all of that go into it, enjoying our family. And lastly, my favorite is the supplementation. Supplements are needed, at least for me. If you're like me, I can't get all of those vegetables in on a daily basis because I work, I'm busy, I do all of the things. So sometimes it is really hard for me to stay on that perfect diet where I'm getting everything perfectly. So it helps me bridge those nutritional gaps. And our system, with our triplex system with Plexus, does help, and we will post that later. Does help. With a gut system to help with our gut health. So it's a system to help with gut health. I stumbled over that. So it's just taking three things, and if you do that consistently, then that helps with gut health. And I should say, when you practice these habits consistently, which is needed, that's when you start noticing the changes, the reduced food cravings and everything else. Also, Active is another supplement that I like to take with the triplex system with the gut health, because that also has ingredients in it that are super important for our body to heal, and and it helps bridge those nutritional gaps. So between the two of them, I feel like if I'm missing those gaps, if I'm not getting enough of those fiber and greens and reds and all of the combination, or if I'm under a lot of stress, or I haven't slept well, or all of the things that can happen, this comes into place. And then I just know that my body is constantly getting the nutrients that are needed, and it totally helped me. And then intermittent fasting is the last one that I can just kind of tug in there, that we talked about on the second day. That's another tool belt that just helps reduce the inflammation and helps the gut microbiome get in balance. So I hope that is helpful to you. I am super excited to talk to you about this. Message me in any way, or my sister Terry, and we are happy to guide you in the process and the system of healing. Thank you very much.